resume reader, Kurosong, and today I will be reading to you from Everlasting War by Cake. Now, on to Chapter 16, Breakthrough. Canada stared daggers at Egypt as he complained about basically everything, but mostly control. Egypt commanded the troops up north while Canada commanded the troops down south. This pissed off Egypt because he deserved to be in command of every Haïleti and Breton troop on the front lines, as Egypt was older and more experienced, and just superior to Canada, which many Breton officers and soldiers would disagree about, and a few Haïletis when they knew they wouldn't die. "I should be in charge. You're only a kid." "First of all," Canada snapped, standing up, "I'm 20. Second of all, who the hell said you were qualified enough to lead anyone? You're just a selfish whore whose ego blinds him so much he can't see everyone hates him and would love him to be dead. If you believe you're so powerful, why don't you attack the Prussians yourself? Third of all, you should be fucking grateful I let you command any troops in my war. This war is Britannia's, not Haïli's. Learn your fucking place, Egypt. None of my officers nor my troops will refer to you as your title. They won't even mention your name. You don't deserve shit." Canada finished, sitting back down. Both men remained quiet, and a few officers from both sides not knowing what to do. For one, no one has seen Canada snap like that. At least, nobody he wasn't related to. Secondly, Egypt didn't even try to fight back. Something that was completely unlike him. Suddenly, a soldier burst into the tent, sweat beads dripping down his face, and it was red. "Sir, a report from the south. We've broken through their lines. General Hartmann, who was down there, ordered a flood of troops to breach through and get as far as they can," he announced, gasping for breath as he did so. "The orders are approved. Send any extra divisions down there," Canada replied, his tone rough and still pissed. "Canada?" a female voice said, outside the tent. A woman then stepped in, a stern look on her face as she wore a uniform, her rank stating she was a general. "Mama, what are you doing here? You were supposed to be with Z on the front lines. That's what you said you were going to do." "We've made a breakthrough. I came to report it, as your sister is in charge down there." Before France could speak again, another woman burst into the tent. She seemed out of breath, but was definitely a foreigner. Canada jumped up and drew his saber. France gave him a stare, telling him to sheath it. He complied and sheathed it, but kept his hand on the handle in case, as she was armed. "Hello, I'm terribly sorry. I'm Princess in Kyrgyzstan of Muscovy. Sorry for the intrusion." "How's my son?" France asked quickly, immediately softening once she knew who the intruder was. "America is fine. He'll survive. He's supposed to be waking up soon, and the doctors were able to prevent an infection. However, most likely now, Russia or Soviet Union is dead. One of them are. It's possible my entire family, but Tajikistan is dead, as Russia and Soviet have dueled at noon." "If Tsar Russia is dead," an officer spoke up, "who would be your new Tsar?" The princess hesitated for a minute, thinking of what to say or how to say it. She was at a loss for words, not knowing how to answer the officer. "This is why we watch what we say, Damascus," Egypt harshly whispered to the officer, causing Canada to stare daggers once again. Just this time, he would take action. "Leave him alone, fucker," he yelled, pushing Egypt firmly, gently pushing the officer behind him. Canada, Egypt, sir, down this instant, France commanded, obviously annoyed at the two. Please, Turkmenistan, continue. Crown Prince Lithuania, Kyrgyzstan mumbled loudly, folding her hands together. Unless Russia writes out a law stating that women are able to rule, until then, our week-old brother is the crown prince. Which sister would be in line if she were able to hold that position? France asked. Belarus, Kyrgyzstan replied, actually being able to answer her quickly. Canada and Egypt, however, weren't paying attention to the two women, but rather staring at each other with piercing eyes. Hell, if they stared at anyone else the way they're staring now, people would assume they're stealing every bit of soul and life from them, leaving them with only death. Egypt got ready to stand up when he put his hand on his saber's handle again. Another person entered the tent. So sorry to intrude. Hello, Mother. I've gotten news from Father. Canada looked at his sister, Malaysia, but immediately turned away to stare at Egypt once more, keeping eye contact with him. Egypt kept his face stern, Canada keeping his fierce. Conversations around them, whether they were planning, asking a princess another question, or something else, but the two didn't partake in any. They continued keeping eye contact forever, who knows how long. Then a guard violently shook Egypt. He looked over and saw a man in the tent. Iran. Oh shit. Sir Iran, a pleasure to see you. France greeted cheerfully, standing up to shake his hand. What's brought you here rather than the palace? Egypt, he repeated coldly, staring at the man. I have news. You can no longer fight for the status of heir as Saudi Arabia has a child on the way. Oh, that's delightful, France said, completely ignoring the tone and the facts. You should definitely be at the palace where it is safe, Malaysia butted in, Kyrgyzstan off to the side and nodding. It is difficult to remember some men can have children, she muttered to Turkmenistan as if she were embarrassed about it, but it seemed to wash away when Kyrgyzstan agreed. Congratulations, was all Egypt said, returning the tone and stare back at the shorter man. Canada, on the other hand, was unsure of anything to say. Does he congratulate or does he stay silent? Which is the option he temporarily chose. Does he go the route Malaysia took and tell him to get somewhere safe? He's safe here. We've made a breakthrough in the south with both Kiwi and Hartmann's battalions. In fact, I do believe I need to head down there and see how the battles are going, Canada said, standing up and putting his hat on his head, heading towards the tent's door. There were a few complaints and objections, but Canada ignored it all, pushing past Iran and trudging to his horse. France had stormed out and was yelling at him to get back in, saying it wasn't safe for him, but he pressed on, mounting his horse. Je serai en sécurité, je t'aime. That roughly translates to, I'll be safe, I love you. With that, he quickly rode off, keeping the horse at a fast pace. He had tied a string on his cap, so when he rode fast, it wouldn't fall off. And he was really grateful for that now. Mama's gonna kill me once I get back, he mumbled to himself, pressing on towards the battlefields. And that's the end of this chapter. I hope you enjoyed. Anyway, I'd like to invite you to join the Discord, which is linked down in the description below. That being said, I hope you have a nice rest of your day, night, or whatever it is for you. Just enjoy your time. And I will see you tomorrow.